Hello students, this is my continuation of my previous video on blood vessels of the true pelvis. In my previous video, I talked about the abdominal aorta, its terminal branches, that is the common iliac, which further divides into external and internal iliac arteries. Okay, the external iliac artery, it gives off the terminal branch, that is the inferior epigastric artery, the external iliac, and this inferior epigastric artery will wind or hook round the ductus deferens to enter the anterior abdominal wall. This I have already talked in my previous video. Next, I talked about the internal iliac artery, which divides into anterior and posterior trunks. Okay, the arteries of the anterior trunk, if you see, this is the internal iliac common iliac artery, this is the internal iliac artery. This internal iliac artery is divided into anterior trunk and posterior trunk. From the anterior trunk arises superior vesical artery. If you see the superior vesical artery, it arises from the anterior trunk of the internal iliac artery. The superior vesical artery is actually the representative of obliterated umbilical artery. Okay, it's an obliterated umbilical artery which is a part of placental circulation in fetus. Okay, so superior vesical artery is one of the derivative of obliterated umbilical artery. Then the next artery from the anterior trunk was the obturator artery, which supplies the obturator internus and the obturator canal. This is the anterior trunk of the iliac artery, internal iliac artery. This is internal, this is the anterior trunk. So from the anterior trunk arises the obturator artery. The next artery from the anterior trunk is the, if you see here, internal iliac. The next artery is the inferior vesical artery. Okay, it is vaginal artery. Okay, this inferior vesical artery is replaced by the vaginal artery in females. Okay, the next artery from the anterior trunk of the internal iliac artery, from the anterior trunk of the internal iliac artery is the middle rectal artery. The next artery from the anterior trunk is the internal pudendal artery. Okay, so these are the arteries from the anterior trunk. The anterior trunk, okay, it continues as the inferior gluteal artery. This anterior trunk, it finally continues as inferior gluteal artery. Itself continues as inferior gluteal artery. The next is the posterior trunk. From the posterior trunk, if you see, this is the posterior trunk, this is the anterior trunk, this is the posterior trunk. You have iliolumbar arteries, you have lateral sacral arteries, and the posterior trunk itself continues as the superior gluteal artery. So anterior trunk continues as inferior gluteal artery, and the posterior trunk continues as the superior gluteal artery of the internal iliac artery. So this much we have studied in our previous video. Now we'll continue here with the median sacral artery. Okay, the median sacral artery arises from the dorsal aspect of the abdominal aorta immediately above the bifurcation of the lateral. This I have explained in detail in my video on abdominal aorta. Okay, so median sacral artery, it is arising from the posterior aspect of the abdominal aorta. Okay, it's an unpaired branch from the posterior aspect of the abdominal aorta, just immediately above the bifurcation of the lateral. So the abdominal aorta bifurcates into right and left common iliac arteries. So just above the bifurcation is the presence of median sacral artery. Now what this median sacral artery does? It supplies the back of the rectum and the tissues of the post-rectal space. So the tissues which are behind the rectum and the back of the rectum is supplied by the median sacral artery. The spinal branches of this artery supply the contents of the spinal canal. So it gives off branches which supplies the spinal canal. Okay, So this was about the median sacral artery. Okay, so as you all know, the true pelvis, okay, the true pelvis is constitute the blood vessels of the true pelvis. It constitute the unpaired medial sacral artery. So this unpaired medial sacral artery, it arises from the posterior aspect of the abdominal aorta. Okay, if you see this figure, see this median sacral artery is arising from the posterior aspect of the abdominal aorta. You can see here. Okay, this is the posterior aspect of the abdominal aorta, unpaired arising from the dorsal aspect. Okay, and these are the terminal branches, that is the right and left common iliac arteries. Okay, so this was about the median sacral artery. One more diagram if I want to show you here is, you can see here the median sacral artery. Okay, the lumbar arteries and the median sacral arteries. So these are the lumbar arteries and the median sacral is single. Okay, so this was about the median sacral arteries, and what does it do? It supplies the back of the rectum and tissues of the post-rectal space, and also the spinal canal. Next we'll proceed to the superior rectal artery. Okay, the middle rectal artery is a branch of the anterior trunk. Okay, as you all know, this is the internal iliac, this is the anterior trunk, this is posterior trunk, this is anterior trunk. So from the anterior trunk arises the middle rectal arteries. Okay, but here it is, next is the superior rectal artery. So if you see here, the blood vessels, we talked about the median sacral artery, which is arising from the posterior aspect of the abdominal aorta. It's an unpaired branch. It supplies the back of the rectum and the post-rectal space as well as the contents of the spinal canal. This is about median sacral artery. Next artery is the unpaired superior rectal artery. It is also unpaired. Okay, so unpaired superior rectal artery is a continuation of the inferior mesenteric artery and is the principal artery of the rectum. Okay, so the superior rectal artery, okay, it is a continuation of the inferior mesenteric artery. Okay, it's a continuation of the inferior mesenteric artery. Now if you remember, inferior mesenteric artery is one of the unpaired ventral branch of the abdominal aorta. Okay, if you remember, the inferior mesenteric artery is one of the unpaired ventral branch of the abdominal aorta, and this was at the level of the body of L3. So superior rectal artery is a continuation of the inferior mesenteric artery. Okay, so inferior mesenteric artery, it continues as the superior rectal artery and it's a principal artery of the rectum. This is the main artery which is supplying the rectum. Okay, so this was about the superior rectal artery. So the blood vessels main were the median sacral artery, which I told you right now, unpaired superior rectal artery, which is a continuation of inferior mesenteric artery, which is one of the branch of the abdominal aorta, inferior mesenteric artery, and this superior rectal artery is the principal artery of the rectum. The next is the paired internal iliac. So we'll talk about right now the internal iliac artery. Now what is the internal iliac artery? This is the smaller one of the terminal branches of the common iliac artery. So as you all know, the abdominal aorta, it bifurcates just 2.5 centimeter below the umbilicus into two terminal branches, that is common iliac artery. Okay, the internal iliac artery supply the pelvic walls, pelvic viscera, perineal region and gluteal region and the adductor compartment of the lower limb. Okay, so all the adductors of the lower limb doing adduction, function is adductor, and also the pelvic walls, pelvic viscera perineal region and the gluteal region, this is all supplied by the internal iliac arteries. Okay. In the fetus, the internal iliac artery is larger than the external iliac artery and is the direct continuation of common iliac artery. Okay. So in fetus, the internal iliac artery is larger as compared to external iliac, and it is direct continuation of the common iliac. So when we take a fetal life in fetus, the common iliac, it divides into internal iliac and external iliac. So in fetus, the internal iliac is large as compared to the external iliac. Okay. Now it ascends over the anterior abdominal wall and enters the umbilical cord as the umbilical arteries. Okay. So this internal iliac artery, okay, it ascends over the anterior abdominal wall. That is, it will go over the anterior abdominal wall and it will enter the umbilical cord as the umbilical arteries. Okay. At birth, once placental circulation ceases, that is, the feto-placental circulation stops, the abdominal portion of the umbilical arteries becomes the fibrous medial umbilical ligament. Now you all know there are two umbilical arteries and one umbilical vein in the feto-placental circulation. So the umbilical artery, which is at the abdominal level, that is the abdominal level, one umbilical artery is present. That umbilical artery, it becomes the fibrous medial umbilical ligament. So that is a remnant of the umbilical artery. So the one of the remnant is medial umbilical ligament, which is present in the abdomen. And the pelvic portion of the original vessel, it remains as the internal iliac artery and a part of superior vesical artery. So in the fetus, that is in the feto-placental circulation, the abdominal portion umbilical artery will become medial umbilical ligament, and the pelvic portion, it remains as the internal iliac artery and a part of superior vesical artery. This part of superior vesical artery I already mentioned in my previous video. This becomes an obliterated part of the umbilical artery. Okay. So this is about the internal iliac artery. This is very, very important. In fetus, this internal iliac artery is larger as compared to the external iliac, and it's a direct continuation of common iliac artery. It ascends over the anterior abdominal wall and it enters the umbilical cord as umbilical arteries. Okay. So this internal iliac is larger and it will ascend, it will go in the anterior abdominal wall and it enters the umbilical cord as umbilical arteries. Okay. So internal iliac artery enters the umbilical cord as umbilical arteries. Okay. Now when placental circulation ceases, that is after birth, the abdominal portion of this umbilical arteries remain as medial umbilical ligament and the pelvic portion remains as internal iliac artery and a part of superior vesical artery. So what would be the remnant of the umbilical arteries? In the abdomen, it is medial umbilical ligament, and in the pelvic, it is internal iliac artery and part of superior vesical artery. So in the abdomen, it is medial umbilical ligament. In the pelvis, it is internal iliac artery and a part of superior vesical artery. This is the remnants of the umbilical arteries once the placental circulation ceases. Okay. Now we'll go to the description of the internal iliac artery and its branches. Now what is the origin of the internal iliac artery? Each internal iliac, that is right or left, begins as a terminal branch of the common iliac artery in front of the SI joint at the level of the intervertebral disc between the fifth lumbar vertebrae and the sacrum. Okay. So each internal iliac artery, right or left, it begins as a terminal branch of the common iliac artery in front of the sacroiliac joint. Now, as you all know, the abdominal aorta bifurcates into common iliac artery just 2.5 centimeter below the umbilicus. So it bifurcates into right and left common iliac. Now this will descend down, okay, and it descend up to the SI joint, and in the SI joint this internal iliac artery arises. So if this is the, suppose this is the diagram of pelvis, this is the diagram of pelvis, and suppose this is the umbilicus here, okay, it bifurcates right and left common, and this will go down, right and left common will go down, and in front of the SI joint, in front of the SI joint, this will form into internal iliac and external iliac. So in front of the SI joint, at the level of intervertebral disc between fifth lumbar vertebrae and the sacrum. So this is the abdominal aorta. Suppose this is the abdominal aorta coming down. At the level of the umbilicus, just 2.5 centimeter below the umbilicus, it bifurcates into right and left common iliac. Yes, this right and left common iliac will go at the junction where the fifth lumbar vertebrae, it articulates with the upper surface of the sacrum, okay, lumbosacral joint, okay. So at this level, the common iliac arteries will divide into external and internal iliac, in front of the SI joint. This is the sacroiliac joint. So in front of the SI joint, okay, in front of the SI joint, the common iliac arteries at the level of lumbosacral joint, this will divide into right and left internal iliac and external iliac. Okay, so this is the origin of the internal and internal iliac artery. Now what is the course? It runs down to reach the upper margin of the greater sciatic foramina. Here it divides into anterior and posterior trunks. The anterior trunk gives both visceral and parietal branches, and the posterior trunk gives only parietal branches. So this artery will go down, okay, here it is formed. It will descend down, and it will reach up to the greater sciatic foramen. Okay, it will reach up to the greater sciatic foramen. Okay, and in the greater sciatic foramen, once it reaches there, it will divide into anterior and posterior trunk. This I have shown you near the greater sciatic foramen. So if this is the, see, if this is the diagram of the greater sciatic foramen, okay, or greater sciatic notch, you can see this is the greater sciatic notch foramen. Here this internal iliac artery will reach, and it will divide into the anterior trunk and the posterior trunk. So this internal iliac artery will go down into the greater sciatic notch or foramen, and it will divide into posterior trunk and anterior trunk. This is the anterior and posterior trunk. So it will reach the greater sciatic foramen. So this is about the course of the internal iliac. Okay, this is about the course of the internal iliac. So origin is the bifurcation of the abdominal aorta, okay, right and left common iliac. This arteries will go down, it will descend down in front of the SI joint at the level of the intervertebral disc between fifth lumbar and the sacrum. So here it will reach, okay, at the level of SI joint, at the level of L5 and the upper surface of the sacrum. So here it will divide into external iliac and internal iliac. The internal iliac will descend down up to the greater sciatic foramen, up to the greater sciatic notch, and here it will divide into anterior and posterior trunk. So up to the greater sciatic notch it will go, and then it will divide into anterior and posterior trunk. This is the course of the internal iliac artery. Okay. Now we'll go to the relations of the artery. Internal iliac artery is related to what? So just see here, this is the relation of the internal iliac artery. Okay. Now anterior relation, this you have to remember. Anterior relation, see, this is the common iliac. It is dividing into internal iliac. Yes, this is the internal iliac. So that would be anterior trunk, the posterior trunk this way. This is internal iliac. So what is the anterior relations? This is the anterior relation. Okay, the ureter and the uterine tubes, fimbriated end of ovary. Okay, so the fimbriated end of ovaries, the uterine tubes and the ureters, okay, that forms the anterior relation of the internal iliac artery, anteriorly. Posterior relation is the SI joint, the lumbosacral trunk and the internal iliac vein. Okay, so SI joint, the lumbosacral trunk and the internal iliac vein, it forms the posterior relation. The lateral relation would be the external iliac vein and the obturator nerve. Okay, so the lateral would be the external iliac vein and the obturator nerve. And the medial relation would be the peritoneum, which separates it from the some parts of the gut. So the medial relation is the peritoneum, which separates it from some parts of the gut, like the terminal part of the ileum, the sigmoid colon. Okay, so these relations you have to remember. These relations of the internal iliac. Okay, so anteriorly the ureters, which is coming from the kidneys down, the uterine tubes, okay, and the fimbriated end of ovary. The posterior relation in the posterior, because the internal iliac, it is going down in front of the SI joint. So obviously this forms the posterior relation of the internal iliac. So the sacroiliac joint, the lumbosacral trunk and the internal iliac vein. The lateral relation is the external iliac vein and obturator nerve. Okay. And the medial relation is the peritoneum, which separates it from some parts of the gut. Which parts? The ileum, the sigmoid mesocolon. Okay. So these are the relations of the internal iliac. Now we'll go to the branches of the internal iliac. What are the branches? Which I have already talked, but I'll just read out right now. You know, internal iliac is divided in obturator canal as anterior trunk and posterior trunk. So branches of anterior trunk is superior vesical artery, inferior vesical artery, middle rectal artery, uterine artery, obturator artery and vaginal artery. Arising from posterior trunk is the superior gluteal artery, iliolumbar artery and lateral sacral artery. The terminal branches are the inferior gluteal artery and the internal pudendal artery. Okay, so this all you have to remember. The next alternate classification, the internal iliac artery branches can also be classified in a different way as parietal branches and the visceral branches. So parietal branches, which are arising from the anterior trunk, are the obturator artery, inferior gluteal artery and internal pudendal artery. The parietal branches of the posterior trunk is the superior gluteal artery, iliolumbar and the lateral sacral arteries. The visceral branches, okay, all the branches, visceral branches are from the anterior trunk, supplying the viscera. Okay, parietal branches will supply mainly the muscles. Okay, this will supply mainly the muscles or the bones. Here it will supply the viscera. So all the branches of the anterior trunk, like the superior vesical artery, inferior vesical artery, middle rectal artery, uterine artery and vaginal artery. Okay, so these are the branches of the internal iliac artery. Okay, so what we have studied till now, we have common iliac divided into external and internal iliac. External iliac, in its lower part, it gives rise to inferior epigastric artery, which hooks around ductus deferens and it will go on the anterior abdominal wall. Okay, then we studied about the internal iliac, its course, that is, it is arising below the bifurcation of the abdominal aorta. Okay, the common iliac arteries, it goes down, descends down at the level of the lumbosacral joint, intervertebral disc in front of the SI joint. It forms internal iliac and external iliac. The internal iliac, it descends down, okay, in front of the SI joint. Okay, it will reach the greater sciatic foramen and there it divides into anterior and posterior trunk. The anterior trunk gives branches to superior vesicle, inferior vesicle, obturator, middle rector, internal pudendal and uterine. And the posterior trunk is gives to branches as iliolumbar, lateral sacral and superior gluteal. Okay. Now we'll talk about each branch in my next video. Thank you, students.